Now, many of you already know that China and the US are not the only countries that are having some tensions, but our very own South Africa and the US, there are some tensions that have surfaced since early this year. Earlier this year, you will know that around February, we were sanctioned by the United States of America, and our aid, or PEFA aid, and all the other commitments of funds that the United States of America had committed to South Africa were all suspended, which is something that is not good. Trump, every time he talks about South Africa, you will know that he always highlights that he's not happy with what's happening in this country because of the mistreatment of certain groups of people, which is something that we've discussed quite a lot. And we all know that that's not true, that's not based on facts, and we are struggling to convince, or we've been struggling, or our government has been struggling to even get a hold of the Trump administration to discuss the issues at hand, or the issues that President Trump, as he say, thinks that they are taking place here in South Africa. Now, the reason why I'm telling you, or I'm giving you that background, is that, well, President Ramaphosa, our president, just released a statement yesterday highlighting two things. The first thing is that the Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky is here, and they are talking, or the reason for the visit is to try to find ways to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. There are developments about that. I think many of you already know what is transpiring there, right? President Ramaphosa said the only way that this war can put to end is through diplomacy, but obviously I don't want to discuss much about that. Now, the reason for this video is that President Ramaphosa claims that he had a conversation with Donald Trump yesterday. They spoke of two things. Like I said, Ukraine-Russia war, so that that war needs to come to an end. Number two, they spoke about the US-South Africa relations. As I've just told you beginning of this video that things are not good between us and the US. And he said they also spoke about that. And they are looking at, obviously, sorting out all issues and things go back to normal. You will know that in as much as, of course, the US has been mistreating us, they are the second highest trade partner to South Africa when you look into trade, right? Which is something that shows you that they are very important, or they also play an important role into South Africa, which is something that it should be also in our mind. So we rather try to fix things if they are fixable, but if not, we'll also find alternatives. And seeing this statement from the president of our country, Mr. Ramaphosa, highlighting that the call was also based on that, I think it brings hope, right? There is hope. There is hope to say that things can get better with time. I'm quite certain that obviously they also spoke about the trade, how South Africa can come in to help, of course, or to make China maybe succumb to the pressure that Trump has been posing to China in terms of tariffs. But unfortunately with that, we cannot do much, I suppose, because our hands are tied, because we are so close to China. China two-way trades in South Africa, it's over $52 billion, and we cannot therefore stab China at the back, which is something that I think he already knows that it's not going to be possible. But overall, I think all this was good news to hear our president coming and say that he was on a call with President Trump, and they are agreeing that indeed the war between Russia and Ukraine should come to an end, and they want to sit down and talk about the tensions that are between South Africa and the US to try to iron things out. You will know that 3 weeks back, President Trump hit South Africa with a tariff hike of 30%, bringing the total tariff to South African exports to be around 40%, right? But a week later, he reversed or temporarily suspended that 30% of tariff hike which he introduced to South Africa for the next 3 months. He said during these 3 months, the countries, including South Africa and the other countries, because we are not the only ones that got those tariffs, and many of you already know by now, they should use these 3 months as an opportunity to negotiate with the Trump administration or with President Trump to find solutions, so that at least, even if it's to come back, it's not coming back for South Africa as 30%, or it's not coming back at all. which is why there needs to be a continuous engagement between South Africa and the United States of America in terms of how tariff, how can that 30% tariff be permanently suspended. It will be good if it can be permanently suspended, because like I said, America or US is very important. It's an important country to South Africa because they are the second highest trade partner, and therefore we must try whatever we can possible to mend the relationship. But it has to also be a two-way thing, right? It's not supposed to be us going to beg at the feet of the Trump administration, but we should meet each other halfway and we sort out our issues. Things go back to normal. Trade goes back to normal, which is something that everyone, I suppose, wants to see. So yeah, man, this is what we saw. This is what we read coming from our president. Let's wait. Let's see what happens next. You will know that there is a G20 summit that is expected to take place here in South Africa in November of this year, 22nd, 23rd, and hopefully President Trump becomes one of the people that, or becomes one of the president that comes to South Africa for that summit. There is that summit is expected to open so many doors for South Africa, because with that G20 summit, there's also a B20 summit, which some of the big businesses globally are also helping, or are also there trying to find ways to grow the economies of these countries in the G20. And seeing that South Africa is part of the G20, it's something that is great, right? This is very, very exciting. So good days are coming, and this conversation or this call that our president just had with Donald Trump, I suppose, or I hope that it continues like this, so that at least by the time the G20 arrives, everyone is in South Africa. All the presidents of the states within the G20 summit are all represented, are all in South Africa, and the solution that will unlock, of course, or make the global economy to flourish. So yeah, man, just thought I'd give you this quick update. Tell me what you think about this. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I think there is hope. The fact that Trump is able to talk with our president, I think there is hope, and we hope for the best. We hope things can become better for South Africa, and we don't lose the AGOA deal. We don't lose the US as the second highest trade partner to South Africa. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Take me some time to make this video. I will see you on the next one, and God bless you all.